So here we are in the Hauraki Gulf, just north of Auckland in New Zealand, that I'm making for now under sail. And we had a bit of unwanted excitement. My autopilot, I have two systems, but both of them are for servicing. So no autopilot, which makes things a little bit complicated when you're on the boat by yourself. But I decided to come out from Sandspit Marina, where I spent the night, had the main up, tried with the Genoa, but being close to land and shallows and rocks to avoid, and as I say, no autopilot to make things simple. It's really struggling to cope with sailing and everything else. Much easier when you're offshore, there's nothing to worry about like that. I was motor sailing and suddenly the engine just stopped, just like that, just stopped. And I thought, oh, that's most odd. I thought I had plenty of fuel. Put in another 10 litres just in case, started up the engine. I was getting no speed from using the motor, putting it in gear and revving up. Well, that seemed very odd, because now I had a problem, because when I get to the marina at the other end in Westhaven Marina in Auckland, I obviously need to have my engine available so I can manoeuvre and get into my berth. So I double checked, nope, definitely nothing happening. Oh my God. Did I lose my prop? That seemed pretty unlikely, but what else? Why was it misbehaving? I revved up, went down, checked the prop shaft was spinning, no problem there. And of course it turned out, a friend immediately said to me, oh, you probably picked up something. You've got a folding prop, it's wrapped up around the prop and stopping it from working. It all sounded very sensible, very logical. Problem is, how do I get whatever it is around the prop off the prop? The next suggestion, you have to stop the boat, in other words I had to heave to, and then put the engine in reverse, and if you're lucky that will open up the prop and get rid of whatever it is around it. So yep, that's what we had to do. Okay, heave to, no problem, engine on, no problem, it started up okay. Go into reverse, rev up, and suddenly I did hear a bit of a kind of a thud, a sudden noise, and hopefully that was going to mean that everything's fine. But when I tried going into forward gear to test it when I'm hove to, that was a little bit difficult to really be sure that anything's working. So eventually I started sailing, and when I then put the engine on and revved up, oh thank goodness, we went up to 6 knots reasonably soon, and just confirming that the engine was working. So that was really, really good news. What a relief. I mean, in the meantime, I contacted Taupo Maritime Radio here in New Zealand, who recognised me. Actually, it was quite nice speaking to friends that I'd been on the radio to so many times, going up to Canada a couple of times. I've spoken to them each time. So it was very nice to have them standing by, waiting for me to test this and do that, and hoping that everything worked out, which, as I say, eventually it did. So we're actually now having a pretty nice sail. We're having to tack over because the southwest wind that we've got at the moment, pretty strong. I mean, I was seeing up to 22 knots at times, and now it's eased off. I'm coming inshore a little bit to try and look for easier conditions. So the seas have calmed down a little bit as well. We're still heeling a little bit, but that's okay, that's sailing. And we're making a reasonable course, ready when I get inshore enough. I should tack around and make for Auckland. I might have to then start the motor. Anyway, but I'm just feeling a little bit stressed out, or at least I was very stressed out. Less stressed out now, but certainly feeling as though I could do with putting my feet up and having a good rest. A nice cup of coffee or tea, or maybe something stronger would be nice. But that excitement lasted, a good 2 hours, I would think. Things were just not simple. When you've got no autopilot, you can just switch on to keep your head in a certain way while you get on with something. It definitely makes life more complicated. So anyway, all's well that ends well. We are on course for Auckland, and then that actually one of the things I'm getting done there will be my newly serviced autopilots will be back in place. So that's it for now. Here we are, having a nice sail.